Well, hello. My name is George Azide. I'm the founder of the Agent's Office. And if you are wanting to learn all about your car insurance policy, what your coverages mean, what you're paying for, and what you're covered for, you've come to the right place. This is the right video. So sit tight and grab a notepad, take some notes, and you're going to learn what you didn't know before you started. Now, let's jump right into it. Car insurance is made up of three different main portions. There's your liability coverage, there's your full coverage, which is considered comprehensive and collision coverages, and then there's uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. Now, your liability coverage, your liability portion is what's required by law in most states. That's the portion that pays for damages you cause to other people. So if you damage another vehicle or you injure another person, that's what your liability coverage protects. The damage you are liable for. You're liable for the damages, liability coverage for them. Now, when it comes to liability coverage, most people make the mistake of thinking that they're saving money by going with what's called state minimum liability coverage, which means I just want the cheapest policy out there. I don't want to pay any more than I need to pay. I want to pay the least amount possible. Well, 9 times out of 10, state minimum liability coverage does not cover the average medical bill in a car accident. So that means if an average medical bill is $50,000 in your state, wherever you're at, and your state minimum liability coverage is only, let's say, $30,000, like it is here in Texas, you're saying that if you injure someone in an accident and they go to the hospital, you only want the insurance company to pay $30,000 of that medical bill. And the average medical bill is about $42,000 here. So that leaves you about a $12,000 out-of-pocket expense. Was that really the cheapest insurance in that point? No, it wasn't. I'll answer the question for you. And the same goes for your property damage portion of your liability coverage. So it has two pieces there: bodily injury, property damage. Property damage protects the other vehicle, protects you, and pays for the vehicle or property that you damage elsewhere if you run into another vehicle or run into a wall or whatever it might be. So again, state minimum liability coverage is you saying, if I damage another vehicle, I only want my insurance that I'm paying my hard-earned money for to pay the very minimum amount, and I will pay the rest. I'm going to give you guys a moment, because I know some of you watching this have state minimum liability coverage, and you didn't know that's what you were saying when you bought that policy. Some of you did, but let me tell you why you shouldn't. Because it only costs pennies on the thousands to increase your coverage from state minimum liability coverage to double minimum liability coverage. Your rate may go up $5, maybe $6 a month, but you now have the proper coverage. Not proper, I don't know what coverage that you need, but let me tell you a good rule of thumb. Look up what is the average medical bill in my state for a car accident. When someone gets hurt in a car accident, what's the average medical bill? It'll tell you a number there. That's the number that you want to make sure that you have covered for on your auto insurance at the very minimum, if not maybe double that, since there's a passenger. Sorry about that. That's my dog. I got a new dog about 2 weeks ago, and she's still learning her way around. So anyways, so back to what I was saying. Look up what is the average medical bill in XYZ state for a car accident, and then make sure your liability limit at the very least is covering that number, if not double that number, because they may have a passenger with them. So that's your liability coverage. Any questions? Okay, good. Property damage, do the same thing. What's the average new vehicle price in my state? Here in Texas, I would say, what was the average new vehicle price in Texas last year? And then I would make sure my property damage coverage was enough to cover that average new vehicle price in Texas, to make sure that if I do get into an accident and I damage any other vehicle or injure another person, I have the proper coverage that's going to leave a very small chance of me having to pay anything out of pocket. That's good insurance. That's when they say I got good insurance. That's what that means. I got insurance that makes sure that I have less than a 10% chance of having to pay anything out of pocket. Now, there's no way of ensuring that you never pay anything, because who knows, maybe you hit an NFL player who makes millions of dollars a year, or you hit a neurosurgeon who makes, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Whoops. Don't do that, but there's protection for that also. and that's called an umbrella policy, and I'll explain that in a separate video. Once I make that video, I'll link it below. So if it's linked below, that means I've made the video. So you can go and check that out next. What is an umbrella policy and why should you get one? That's a good name. That's what I'm going to name it. So moving on, that's the first part of your insurance, liability coverage. The second part comprises of two coverages called comprehensive and collision coverages. Now this portion covers your vehicle in the event that it's damaged or totaled in an accident or by just natural disaster. So that's what comprehensive coverage is. If your vehicle is ever damaged by hail, wind, theft, vandalism, fire, flood, a tree falls over on your car and crushes it, a rock on the highway or jumps off the back of another car or on the back of a truck and chips and shatters your windshield or chips your windshield, that's a comprehensive claim. You had nothing to do with that. That wasn't your fault. It just naturally occurred, an act of God, and you couldn't control it. You couldn't avoid it. It just comprehensively happened. You have coverage for that under comprehensive coverage. That's what comprehensive is. And it comes with a deductible. I don't have time to explain deductibles in this video, but I will explain it in a separate video, just like the umbrella policy video. If you see that link down below, that means I made the video. Now, you also have collision coverage allowed on your policy also. So now, collision coverage covers you in the event that your vehicle gets damaged in an accident that you were at fault in. You were driving your car and you hit another car, or you hit a wall, or you hit a tree, or you hit a curb, or whatever that might have been. Collision coverage allows us to go ahead and repair or replace your vehicle in an accident that you were at fault in. And just like comprehensive coverage, it too comes with a deductible, which again, I'm going to make another video, a video that you may see down below. But to make it real simple, the deductible is the amount that you're willing to pay before the insurance company pays. Plain and simple. Now, the third portion of your car insurance, main portion, is called uninsured / underinsured motorist coverage. And in my opinion, this is the most undervalued and misunderstood portion of car insurance. What it covers is in the event you get hit by someone who doesn't have any insurance, this coverage allows the insurance company to pay up to the limit, your limit that you picked, for your medical bills. If you get injured in that accident, it pays up to the limit that you pick if your vehicle is damaged or totaled by the uninsured motorist. So that means someone hits you, they didn't have any insurance, or they just hit you and they drove off. Your uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage pays for that damage to yourself, to your body, and to your vehicle. So having that coverage is very important because a lot of people don't take financial responsibility seriously and don't have insurance. So if one of those people happen to run into you, you want to make sure that you have the insurance funds ready to be able to pay for your damages, pay for your vehicle, and allow the insurance company to have the headache of chasing down and finding out who that person was, getting the police footage, trying to get cameras, doing whatever they need to do to get their money back that way. But at least you took care of yourself and you don't have to deal with having to settle with anyone or chase anyone down. Now, the most misunderstood portion of this coverage is the fact that it's underinsured motorist coverage. So let's say you're driving a BMW, and let's say it's a $70,000 BMW, and the person that hits you does have insurance, but they have state minimum liability coverage. So most state minimum liability coverage is not $70,000. It's going to cover, in Texas, $30,000. So if they total your BMW, their insurance is only going to pay $30,000 towards your vehicle. That's all they had. So now you have $30,000 to replace a $70,000 car. What happens? This is where if you carried uninsured / underinsured motorist protection, your policy will activate and kick in and pay the shortfall up to the limits of your policy. So if you had $50,000 of uninsured motorist coverage on your policy, or $60,000 there, that means the other person's insurance is going to pay $30,000, and then yours is going to pay the additional $50,000, equaling out to that $70,000, or no, pay the additional $40,000, equaling out to that $70,000 value of your car to get a check, so you can now go and buy a new car, pay off the loan, be free and clear, and go get a new vehicle of your own, whatever the case might be. Now, there's things like gap insurance and other things we'll talk about in other videos, but right now I just want to talk specifically about car insurance and how those coverages affect you and what's most important. So far we've gone over the three main aspects. There's two additional coverages that we'll talk about real quick, but just to go over those again real quick. Liability protects you and pays for damages of other people that other people occur based on an accident that you are at fault in. You hit another car, your liability is going to pay. You damage another person, your liability is going to pay. If you're now comprehensive and collision coverages, if your vehicle is damaged by hail, wind, theft by natural occurrence, or stolen, comprehensive coverage pays for that, pays for your vehicle. And then if your vehicle is damaged in an accident that you are at fault in, your collision coverage is going to pay for that. Now, uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage is for if you get hit by someone who doesn't have any insurance, the insurance company will go ahead and pay for your damages and injuries, and then they will go after the other driver themselves. Now, the last few coverages are called rental car coverage. This is for if you have comp or collision coverages, you can opt to have rental car coverage, because now if your vehicle is damaged by one of those two claim types, natural occurrence or an at-fault accident, rental car coverage allows the insurance company to pay you a certain amount of money, $50 per day, $35 per day, $25 per day, to go and get a rental car, so now you can drive around while your car is getting repaired. Now, if it wasn't your fault, it wasn't collision coverage, it wasn't comprehensive coverage, it was another driver's fault, and they damaged your car, you don't have to have rental car coverage, because their insurance is going to pay for the damages, pay for your rental car, pay for your injuries, basically pay for any out-of-pocket expense you incur due to the other driver's negligence or their liability. And lastly, I always recommend get roadside assistance. It's pennies, it's super cheap, it's like 10 cents a day, something like that, to have that on your policy, and it protects you in the event that your vehicle gets a flat tire, you run out of gas, you need a tow, you lock your keys in your car, any of those things occur, your roadside assistance will cover you, and just give them a call, let them come out and get you, or if they allow you to go ahead and pay out of your pocket and reimburse you, a lot of companies do that as well. So that's how your auto insurance coverage is broken down. I hope I've answered every question that you have. If I haven't, please leave a comment down below, and I'll make sure to read the comments. I'll read them all, and I'll make another video answering your comment directly, or I'll just write out the answer to your question if it's that simple. But thank you for watching. This is the very first video I've created as the founder of the agent's office. So if you stick around this long, I appreciate it. Please like this video. Subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot of valuable information. I'm licensed in securities. I'm licensed in insurance. I'm a loan officer. So there's a lot of valuable information that I'm going to be sharing here for free on this channel that many people have had to pay financial consultants, financial advisors, their insurance, whoever's, to be able to get that information. So subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, so anytime a new video comes out, you're one of the first people to hear it, and one of the first people to comment, one of the first people that I get to communicate and have a relationship.